All right, so Wizards of the Coast has introduced a new Dungeons and Dragons Community Advisory Group, and these people are going to help steer the ship for Dungeons and Dragons going forward. And I suspect a lot of these people, maybe not these people in particular, but a lot of like-minded individuals have been steering the ship right into an iceberg for the last couple of years. And I was kind of secretly holding out hope that D&D would go back to its roots. We have the new boss, is it Dan Ayub, and he's reaching out to the Gygaxes, or Luke Gygax at least, and reaching out to some of the OG TSR crew, trying to get them involved in some capacity. But it does look like the future of D&D going forward will probably have a lot of pronouns in it, and that's not going to make some old school gamers happy. And I'm going to be honest, guys, at this point, if you're unhappy with the activism, why are you still playing Dungeons and Dragons? I don't think it's ever going to go back to what it was. And honestly, the old books still work. That's the great thing about books. They don't take them offline. They still work. And I think a lot of people are just going to go back to playing older editions, doing homebrew, going to other systems. But I think in the bigger context, the larger context of things, what has surprised me so much about Dungeons and Dragons is not only how much it's changed from, its roots, but the lengths to which activists have kind of gotten in and try to change the whole tabletop scene through D&D, through Magic. It's very weird to see. The last couple of years have been just shocking to me to see Hasbro, in an official capacity, throw Gary Gygax and a bunch of guys who worked on the original version of Dungeons & Dragons, who created the game, kind of throw them under the bus in an official capacity. We've seen Thaco the Clown. We've seen all this stuff poking fun at old school gamers because they don't want you back. Let's be real. I just did a video about Stargate and the corporate machinations behind changes to franchises, long-standing franchises, is they realize that the old men are eventually going to die and they need new blood, but they feel like it's a zero-sum game, like, no pun intended, but like we have to get rid of the old guys to bring in the new blood because those two groups can't coexist. And there is some truth to that. It's very hard to coexist with people who are diametrically opposed to everything that you liked about a particular franchise or game. And when you've got the media out there, especially, kicking up hostility between these groups of people, and you've got some people that are very, very far gone, I think, in their activist mindset that literally are celebrating death and wanting people, out of their space that voted a certain way or whatever. It's really hard for everybody to get along, right? I mean, I used to think that games and comics and all this stuff was just like nerd stuff we did in our spare time, but people are bringing their real lives to the gaming table. They're bringing their real lives to the comic shop. Everything has become so damn politicized. So anytime a company announces something like this and they put the pronouns right in people's bios in the announcement, it's gonna rub people the wrong way. I'm just saying, just Hasbro, it's gonna rub people the wrong way. And you are making a statement even without making a statement necessarily, because there are certain things those are activist dog whistles. But no, it's seriously, like, if they're really serious about trying to win back old school D&D fans, I don't think this advisory council, based on what I've seen, is going to make anybody older than 30 feel good about where Dungeons & Dragons is going. And that might be the point. That very well may be the point. And I would say good luck with all that, because what's going to happen is they're going to pivot to this new audience. This new audience isn't going to buy shit, as we've seen from the past, the most recent incarnation of D&D. They're going to try to push this audience into a subscription model online. They're going to try to force this audience to like AI artwork. And before you say, well, they're not going to do it at Wizards, Hasbro's all over AI. They just made an announcement the other day that they're going to do AI Transformer stuff. They're all about the AI. So this is all lip service, baby. They're trying to keep, I think, the grognards happy on one side, by, bringing in these TSR member berries. And then on the other side, they're trying to keep the Critical Role crew happy. They want to have their cake and eat it too. And it might turn out that nobody's going to eat the cake, right? The cake's going to wind up at the clearance bin, all smashed up and bags ripped open, and it's going to be so moldy the rats won't even eat it. Just saying, you guys need to be very, very careful. You're at a crossroads right now, Hasbro. You have a chance to make good on things. You got to be very, very careful. Not that you care what I think. Anyway, let's talk about this. Before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV. In fact, Geeky has a very spicy video spanking the CEO of YouTube coming up today. So I'm going to get that posted here later today. So check it out on more.clownfishtv.com. Videos that we do not post on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. The iTunes version of Clownfish TV, the audio version of Clownfish TV, can also be found on iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. There's an audio version. That way you won't miss any episodes. Now, there is about a day's delay. We got a guy that posts them for us. But most of what we put on YouTube will wind up in audio form over there as well. So thank you very much for that. Let's talk about this. I got to go out to Nerdcognito's tweet. Nerdcognito says, Wizards of the Coast caved to the woke mob by, this is his opinion, just putting it out there. Wizards of the Coast caved to the woke mob by forming a D&D Community Advisory Group of DEI activists and sensitivity readers to challenge their designs and force ideas. After years of flops, outsiders steer the ship and call the shots. WotC Classic Gaming will take your castaways. That's just it. The grognards have moved on, or they never moved on. They never got into 5.5e OC character LARPing Simulator 5000. They don't give a shit. They're playing the old school stuff. Nerdcognito says, statement from the Schlock Advisory Committee. Put on your hip waders before you read this. Okay. As the first D&D advisory group, we wanted to take a moment to introduce ourselves as a diverse group of professionals from across the RPG industry, longtime players of the game, and members of the community. We care deeply about the future of D&D and tabletop gaming. We all join this panel with both a sense of responsibility and a fair share of skepticism. We are here to offer honest, independent feedback to Wizards of the Coast, ask hard questions, and raise concerns directly. We share our perspective, but what they choose to act on is ultimately up to them. So they can give their opinions. It doesn't mean that WotC's going to listen. I mean, to be fair, it's just, this kind of reminds me of what Disney did with influencers. And that's what these people are. They're influencers. They listen to them somewhat. They'll ask them questions. What would you like to see? Whatever. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. Since we began, Wizards of the Coast has actively listened and engaged in good faith discussions with us, which has created a productive exchange of ideas. We're grateful to be part of this community and look forward to continuing the work and the conversations ahead. I thought the D&D influencers hated WotC right now because of the virtual tabletop, the way that influencer shindig a couple of years ago was handled. But here's where it's really rubbing people the wrong way. Well, number one, it is June, so we've got the rainbow D&D logo, so people are going to point that out, I know. But we're going to talk about the people involved and what they do. And again, this is, I think, broadcasting this in the way that you're broadcasting it. You're basically saying, hey, progressive people who are afraid we're going to go back to old school D&D. No, we've got advisors who are going to keep us from doing that. And also, let's reach out to the old TSR people so we can get the grognards and the wokesters all together. But they're not going to play at the same table, Dan. There's a lot of damage done. I'm just saying, good luck to you, sir, because I do not envy your position at all. This comes from D&D Beyond, introducing the D&D Community Advisory Group by Dan, D&D Dan. First, thank you. Thousands of you took the time to share honest feedback in our winter community survey. We're reading it. We're acting on it. We're going to keep doing this too regularly. Check our course. 3 themes came through consistently. Trust, game quality, honoring the legacy while strengthening what's next, and value, especially for D&D Beyond subscribers. Yeah, why should I subscribe to D&D Beyond? We're very excited about our 2026 roadmap and the seasonal model for you. That I'm not sold. Like, I don't care one way or the other. I'm going to be honest. I am not playing current year WotC D&D. I don't care. But it is interesting, again, when you look at everything through a corporate lens and you realize they're just doing it because that works for Magic and they're like printing money with Magic. So they're going to do it here too. But here's the thing. Here's the group. They said last summer I shared we were forming an annually rotating D&D community. Okay, so it is rotating. An annually rotating D&D Community Advisory Group with a simple goal being bring trusted community leaders into the room early so we can help stress test decisions, surface risks, and make better calls before things are final. That actually, I do agree with it. The problem is, at this point in time, it feels that the only people playing modern D&D, they're part of that community, are mostly on the left, younger left-wing people. These are people that actively hate the grognards, that actively hate the legacy of Gary Gygax. Again, not everybody, but it does seem to be overwhelmingly progressive, left-wing, activist type people. So you're going to get a very skewed version. But the thing is, I think D&D has already kind of, let's say, again, if we're going to get into the culture war thing, every time I do that, I got to use a voice changer so people know I'm super serious about all this nerd shit. That's how you tell them, I'm super serious about Disney princesses. Yeah, that's how you get them to believe you. You know, can't sound like a soy boy. I have to sound like a serious culture warrior. Yeah, so I think if you're going to frame it that way, I think the battle for D&D has already been lost. I think WotC's lost. I think and honestly, at the end of the day, they're going to piss these people off anyway. Like I'm saying, the AI stuff is going to send these people packing. Absolutely. So yeah, they said it's a changing group. I will give you this artwork is better. This is better than what we saw before, where we had like whatever it was, the Steven Universe looking Pride Parade in the realms or whatever. But this is what's gonna piss people off, or what they're gonna zero in on, regardless of intention. David Christ, he, him, rumored to be part of Frost Giant, having a wicked pants energy. Donna Ricci, she, her, owner of Geeky Teas and Games. Jennifer Kretschmer, she, they. Jennifer is an award-winning game designer, author, and actual play performer, television actor, producer, and disability consultant. So this is one thing that stuck out to me, and this is where, normally I'd be like, pronouns, whatever, it's not that big of a deal, whatever, they're just trying to be current year and not offend anybody. There are a lot of consultants, a lot of diversity consultants, a lot of, yes. So it's basically like, from where I'm sitting, again, this is an outsider looking in. From where I'm sitting, I'm like, oh, this is like Sweet Baby Inc. all over again. And these people are going to help steer the direction of D&D. Oh boy. Again, not that I care. I talk about it because I'm just shocked at how weird everything has gotten in the tabletop space when it should just be about games, but it's all gotten weirdly political. And I'm not playing current year D&D, so I don't really give a shit. But, I'm saying, as somebody who looks at this stuff and can tell you what a lot of fans are probably thinking, their first impression is going to be pronouns and activists at D&D. And they're, okay, bait and switch. You teased all these TSR people, and now you're bringing in the pronouns and the activists, and I'm out again. And they might not care. I'm going to be honest. They might not care. They might not want you, 52-year-old grognard. They might not care. There's a very good chance they don't. They might want the 32-year-old hipster to play D&D. If I don't know. We just did a video the other day. I have to post it. I haven't posted it yet, but talking about how New York City hipsters are paying $3,000 a year for the privilege of playing chess and backgammon in New York City in private clubs. That might be the audience they're looking for. They might not care about you and your old ass friends listening to your Iron Maiden in your, in your basement or whatever. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you anymore. You're old, man. You're old. You're almost retirement age. They don't care about you. So this is a disability consultant and the creator of the Accessibility and Gaming Resource Guide. Okay, if it's just a couple, but there's like 4 or 5 consultants in here. Kelly Lynn D'Angelo, Kelly is a Tuscarora writer and veteran online dungeon master. Okay. Vox Machina, Amazon. Kelly McLaughlin. Kelly is a co-host of Dungeon Dudes, a YouTube content creator. Okay. Michael Shea, he, him, writes for Sly Flourish, hosts the Lazy RPG talk show. Monty Martin, he, him. Monty Martin is the creator of Dungeon Dudes. Again, we have more co-creator of Dungeon. So the Dungeon Dudes on there. So they are getting YouTubers in there. Okay, so here is Nala Wu, they, them. Jay is a proud, multiple marginalized freelance art director, layout designer, sensitivity cultural consultant, an award-winning illustrator and actor working full-time in tabletop RPGs. People are going to make assumptions. Nala may be very nice. Jay may be very nice. I'm just saying, given the state of things right now, people are going to look at this and be like, nope. Scott DeBoard, he, him. He owns Silver Dragon Games, Arizona's best D&D store, a community-driven game store intentionally designed to create a welcoming space for women and new players. Ted Sikora, Nerd Immersion, Tio Sabadia, he, him, Colombian-American advocate for a healthier tabletop industry. What does that mean? Zach Clay, he, him. Zach is a professional dungeon master from San Francisco. He coordinates youth D&D programs, mentoring the next generation of TTRPG storytellers. People are going to be like, San Francisco? Well, I grew up outside San Francisco, and Nerdrotic is actually from San Francisco, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It was a nice town. It was a real nice town when I was growing up, and I was just like full of shit. It's like, it's crazy. But yeah, I used to bounce back and forth between the East Coast and the West Coast, and San Francisco was beautiful. It really was. Very sad. Very sad. So I don't know, guys. I would say good luck with all that. I think this might not have been. I get what they're trying to do, but I think they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And I don't think this is gonna go the way they think it's going to go. Plus, you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to try to dictate the terms. And these are the same kinds of people that probably tried to, throw WotC under the bus for any whiff of AI. And that's coming. I mean, everybody's like, they're not going to do it. They said they weren't going to do it. I'm like, they said like 3 or 4 times they weren't going to do it, and they still did it. They're absolutely going to do it. You're so naive. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.